Good day and welcome to another episode of your Money Moment. I'm your host Mauritz Oberholzer, and today we'll dive into the topic of child education and how to make provision for it. I get requests and questions about child education savings on a weekly basis, and the first question I ask my clients is, how does your savings and your retirement planning look? The reason I do this is that child education is a luxury. The first points of action should always be to ensure that you have an emergency fund in place of at least 3 months worth of expenses, and then ensure you're saving towards your retirement before thinking about child education. Child education is nice to have, but having your child study is something you can fund in various ways, whereas the options to fund retirement when you are old are really limited. Let's imagine your retirement planning is solid and you do have an emergency fund in place. Then what options are available for child education? There are various options, but here are a few that can possibly work for you. The tax-free savings plan. This option allows you to open an account in your child's name and offers you the option of saving for their education tax-free. The growth and withdrawals are tax-free, and the account is pretty flexible with a wide variety of funds to choose from. A few things to take into account is the annual limit of 36,000 Rand that you can contribute, and also a lifetime limit of 500,000 Rand. So if you are looking for an option to contribute more, this might be a problem. But all in all, a very good option to start out with. The second popular option is an education endowment plan. This is a fixed 5-year investment, and some companies offer longer time frames of investment. You have to take into account that this is a less flexible option, and you cannot add lump sums throughout the year as you wish, as there are various rules on how much you can contribute each year, based on your contributions of the previous year. The good thing with this investment type is that you are forced to save for a minimum of 5 years, and the money is not always easily accessible, which can help people who tend to have a hard time saving money. The third option is a unit trust. Same as with the tax-free savings account, this option offers you a lot of flexibility and a large variety of funds to choose from. Money is accessible pretty easily, and you can start with as little as 500 Rand per month. This option does attract tax depending on the way you invest, but it's generally pretty low, especially when you start with small amounts. There are other options, but I thought of sticking to the top 3. Then, apart from just investing, I always recommend looking at one of the many educational insurance options, which will cover all educational costs should you or your spouse pass away whilst the child is still at school or even before school. They are generally pretty cheap and they cover all educational costs, thus covering you and your spouse for millions of rands. Some of these educational policies also offer cashbacks if the parents are still alive when there was no claim on the policy. So in conclusion, child education savings are important, but it should never trump your own retirement plan and emergency funds. I recommend getting into contact with a trusted financial advisor to discuss these various options and figuring out which one is right for you. That's it for this week. I hope you find it insightful, and remember, you can always send me topics you would like me to cover on info@mauritzoberholzer.co.za. Till next week, stay financially savvy.
When you're navigating through life's big events, like buying a home, starting a family, or approaching retirement, you need sound and impartial financial advice. Mauritz Oberholzer, a financial advisor at Stonehouse Capital, specializes in personal financial planning. Visit mauritzoberholzer.co.za or call 082 774 1996. For practical and easy to understand advice and tips, don't miss your Money Moment with Mauritz Oberholzer, Thursday mornings at 10 on eRadio.